Since I was 3, I became known as the student who was good at school. At first, it felt simple. You study, you get good grades, teachers praise you, people start to notice. And when you're young, that kind of attention feels good. It feels like you're doing something right. But over time, something changes. Being good at school stops feeling like something you do and slowly becomes something you have to maintain. When I was young, getting scolded was not unusual. It happened when my quiz scores were low, when I couldn't memorize something from a book I was studying for the school competition, when I failed to behave the way I was expected to. At some point, those moments started to feel predictable, almost like a routine. Once people see you as the smart one, there's a quiet pressure that comes with it. You start to feel like you're not allowed to fail, not even a little. Because the moment you do, it feels like everyone notices. And over time, I learned how to defend myself. I would say things like, my classmates also struggled with the exam. Some of them even scored lower than I did. It became my excuse. When I was in elementary school, I slowly started seeing some of my classmates differently, not just as friends, but as competition. Not because I hated them, but because somewhere along the way, the pressure had already taken root inside me. The pressure to perform, the pressure to stay ahead, the pressure to always be good at school. And sometimes I wonder how early that pressure really started. Because when I was in grade 6, I developed Bell's palsy. For months, half of my face struggled to move. It is strange to think about now. Grade 6? I was still a child. And yet already carrying enough stress for it to be considered one of the possible causes. Looking back, I realized something unsettling. For a long time, being good at school didn't just feel like an achievement, it felt like survival. At some point, learning stopped being just about curiosity. It became about results, scores, rankings, awards. And slowly, without realizing it, you start measuring yourself the same way. Not by what you understand, but by how well you perform. The strange thing about being good at school is that people often think it must be easy. But what they don't see is the quiet pressure behind it. The late nights, the fear of disappointing people, in my case, my parents, the feeling that if you slow down, even for a moment, someone else might take your place. For a long time, I thought that was just how things were supposed to be. That success meant always pushing forward, always trying to be better, always trying to stay ahead. But looking back now, I realized something. Being good at school wasn't just about achievement. For me, it was also about direction. It felt like every good grade was a small step forward, a step toward something bigger, a step toward the life I thought was waiting somewhere beyond my hometown. Because when you grow up believing that your future is somewhere else, doing well in school doesn't just feel important, it starts to feel like the only way out.